The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening. This is TV1 News. I'm Maricela Kelaton.
And I'm Rex Litter.
In this edition, DBTI readies for new intakes and continuing students. Nakanai School gets new classroom for school year. And basketball PNG positive with expansion. Mogulu High School in the heart of Western Province held its first ever graduation ceremony. Julian Husio, one of the 3 female graduates, is now pushing to do more in her community.
Mogulu High School's first ever graduation ceremony was a time to celebrate the achievements of students from isolated villages. MAF has been supporting the remote school in the Western Province of PNG since it was founded in 2020. Having struggled at school in Goroka, Julian Huisio returned home discouraged. When Mogulu High School opened, she was determined to finish her education. Now Julianne from Suabi community is one of 3 female students to graduate from the high school in Western Province.
I was very interested when I heard that Mogulu is first established in school. I did grade 9 in 2021, and now 2024 I finished in grade 8.
Deputy Principal Mogulu Secondary School Mika Yabua shared that they were joyous as their pioneering grade 12 students graduated and thanked MAF for their assistance.
I'd like to thank God for making everything possible today. As a first year teacher, when I came here to teach, I did not know that we will make it through this far and we will graduate our own students in our own land.
Micah said MAF flights to Mogulu helped students get an education locally because the aircraft bring in teachers and essential supplies.
And it was really exciting for me to graduate our grade 12 students in our own place here. We graduated 23 students this year, 3 females and 20 males. I hope that the school will still run smoothly in the near future, and we hope to produce lots of students out of Mogulu and hope to see lots of students graduating and getting jobs and coming back and saving our own community. If there was no airstrip, then I don't think school will be functioning. Totally, it's impossible for the school to function without the airstrip.
Jasmine Irajak, TV1 News.
Don Bosco Technological Institute is gearing up for the commencement of the 2025 academic year. Dean of Studies Delcy Maulangi has plenty advice for the first years and continuing students alike. To form young people to become technical instructors, supervisors, managers, and skilled workers, the Don Bosco Technological Institute, most commonly known as DBTI, was established in 1990 to train local teachers for technical and vocational schools. Since conception in 1995, the first phase of the construction began. Established as the Don Bosco Technical Teachers College, it took in its first batch of students in 1999. 26 years on, DBTI continues to strive to meet its aim as it prepares to welcome 400 first-year students for the commencement of the 2025 academic year. In order to meet the demands of the country, DBTI offers 21 programs under 7 technological specialties.
We have 7 technologies, and in the 7 technologies we should take around 45 each technology, so that should see us with 400 new students coming in.
Non-teaching staff have resumed work this week, with teaching staff expected to resume in the following week.
This is their first week of resumption, and they're doing the groundworks, doing the cleanup. We have our workshop assistants also who are setting up the workshop for our students when they come in. We have, of course, the maintenance guys who help us to make sure that all our facilities are working well. We have our librarian in place. We have the cleaners around, and of course we have the registrar's office, which is open for our students to come collect their transcript. That's for the continuing students. And for the incoming new students, they can come and collect their acceptance letter as well.
The Dean of Studies is encouraging all students starting from the first years all the way to the final years to come prepared.
So to our Year 1 students, make sure you come well-groomed, and for our male students, clean shave. Wear long trousers, boots. So that's what we require for all our students, and this goes to our continuing students as well.
DBTI's programs are designed to suit industrial standards within the country and are fully integrated with some of the holistic approach of Christians.
And that academic curriculum includes our academic units as well as our technical units, which the 7 technologies come under. And we also have other extracurricular activities. So this is an agency higher learning institute. And for us, this is a Catholic school environment. We have activities like leadership camp.
DBTI commences registrations on Monday, 27 January through to Friday, 31st January. The medical and life insurance arrangements for more than 6,000 police personnel remain unchanged. Commissioner of Police David Manning confirmed this in a media statement on Sunday.
Commissioner of Police David Manning, in a statement, said existing insurance policy arrangements between the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary and Panel Assurance PNG remain unchanged, providing straightforward upfront access to benefits for police personnel and dependents. Manning said the insurance policy arrangements for RPNGC members put in place in 2023 remain fully in place with no changes. The Commissioner's comments followed recent announcements by the Department of Personnel Management regarding new insurance arrangements for the public service. He reassured the members that recent announcements regarding new insurance arrangements for public servants will not affect the RPNGC or its members. The Commissioner confirmed that the RPNGC and partner agencies are closely monitoring the speculations. Some of these efforts include the use of sophisticated artificial intelligence or AI technologies. The Commissioner called on the public to be mindful in their assessment of social media content and critically question the accuracy of content on social media.
The national government has directed the Department of Personnel Management that the rollout of the Public Service New Care policy and scheme be put on hold until further notice. Secretary for Department of Personnel Management Tai Sansan on Sunday, 12 January, announced that the government has directed that the implementation of public servants' medical and life insurance policy be put on hold. Secretary for Department of Personnel Management Tai Sansan made the announcement in a press conference held yesterday upon directions from the government. The new care policy had received public backlash on social media, especially from public servants.
The government is directed that this policy is put on hold, so we will do that. We will not implement this policy until further notice. This matter will be referred back to NEC for reassessment. So I just want to inform the public and those in the social media forums especially that this will not be implemented. There is a PNG Public Service Information Center releasing some information. So I just want to appeal to them as well that don't get into strikes. This policy will not be implemented.
Secretary Sansan said on the 4th of May 2022, the National Executive Council approved the setup of medical and life insurance policy for all public servants in NEC Decision Number 178 of 2022. This decision approved the medical and life insurance policy and the establishment of the Public Service New Care Association to manage this policy. Furthermore, in 2023, the government allocated 6 million kina in seed capital for the setup of the Public Service New Care Association, and last year, an additional 4.2 million kina.
Public service has been without a medical and life insurance policy all these years since independence. So this government must be commended for coming up with this policy.
The policy, now on hold, would cover public servants' medical and funeral insurance. Secretary Sansan highlighted that in 2024, 400 public servants passed away. The burden of funeral expenses fell onto respective state entities.
From last year's statistics, from the payroll, about 400 public servants passed away. This is giving the burden back to the state, to all these state entities, to pay for the funeral expenses, medical, and all that. So this policy was important for this government.
Secretary Sansan appeals to public servants to not strike, as the policy will not be implemented as stated in the National Public Service Circular Instruction Number 24 of 2024, dated 12 December 2024. Public servants can expect that deductions of 2.7% from their base fortnight salary will not be made. This is TV1 News. We'll have the day's other stories after the break. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
The Toyota JD Hiace bus comes in 14 and 15-seater high-roof luxury model powered by 2.8 liters JD engine for optimal performance output, fuel efficiency and quietness, designed with improved safety features and easy maneuverability for tire steering angle. The Hiace lift suspension and annular frame structure is opted for smooth ride, comfort and safety. Experience the ride on the Hiace bus and experience the Hiace pride, the bus that exceeds all expectations.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier, but you like it more.
All right, man. Show me some good slippers around here.
Boss man.
Good, you want. Strong like you, smart like me.
Yeah, I hope they don't break.
Now surely look his son. This is Relaxo. Strong plus thread. Should I try them on you?
No, please. I'll take them.
Relaxo. Very strong, lasts long.
That's up in the air. Todman underneath it. And India strike already. Oh, this is better. Warner on one leg. That's a shot we've seen him play many times.
Oh no, and it's gone through.
Oh my goodness, what a blinder that is! That is absolutely sensational.
Welcome back. Students of Ulu Adventist Early Childhood School of Ward 1 in Central Nakanai, West New Britain Province, will be able to learn in a new classroom when the 2025 academic year resumes. The double classroom was opened recently by Nakanai MP Francis Maneke. The event marks a significant development in the district's educational infrastructure.
Member for Nakanai and Minister for Oil Palm Francis Maneke officially opened a double classroom at Gibolo Village in the central Nakanai LLG of West New Britain Province recently. The new classroom is expected to enhance the learning environment for young children, providing them with improved facilities that foster early childhood education. At the opening ceremony, Maneke expressed his commitment to advancing educational opportunities within the district and underscored the importance of early childhood education in laying a strong foundation for future learning.
Very, very painful. All people blow me and painful. Lo experience in the Silakain Senis. Na me a muscle say my God and put me the right time. Lo work in the Silakain lo people blow me. Because if you keep my down, now you look for something that important to life blow me. Now today I will not come again tomorrow. Today I will not come again tomorrow. Today I will stop. That's why I need to blow all him strong. All him strong when I'm on something I will stop. No power blow me to blow.
Maneke also acknowledged the efforts of the local community, educators and stakeholders who contributed to the project's realization. The addition of this classroom will allow for increased enrollment and more effective teaching, enabling the school to accommodate a growing number of students.
So why should we serenize this also not the little that's the place for you? Me a muscle you blow like the yellow Ulu. Advantage, early childhood. You play at the strong, you play blow in classroom, yeah? They're not giving me blow money. Me give blow kappa person. Now we cream, now you play prison, now you play. You make at this house.
The district's initiative reflects a broader commitment to investing in education as a vital component of community development and empowerment. The new facilities are anticipated to have a positive impact on both students and teachers, providing a conducive environment for learning. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Meantime, MP Maneke also supported the youth in the area with 10,000 kina to run a volleyball tournament.
Board member, one-time administration, maybe now supporting the 10,000 kina lo one lo make him so that he will sustain him or run him this la walk by go moyet na involve him some all sports too. Na same time too me like by if like and look line if like he participate today na give him some awards so if like can motivate him if la walk him this la walk inside lo district flow you mean to lo play.
The Johns Foundation, a local organization, last Saturday gifted the community of 17 Mile with food rations. Foundation Secretary Justin Bosco said this comprehensive approach to community outreach can create a positive impact on multiple fronts, addressing immediate needs while also contributing to long-term social development.
Foundation is actively involved in several outreach initiatives within the 17 Mile community as well as across the country. The foundation spreads the word of God through its local radio stations to WRFM. The foundation says it is an effective way to communicate information and promote community involvement. The foundation also has a ministry whose members have visited hospitals and prisons. Visiting hospitals help bridge gaps in healthcare delivery, potentially offering support through donations, patients advocacy, or volunteer services. Foundation Secretary Justin Bosco says such initiative indicates a commitment to supporting vulnerable populations, offering assistance, and possibly organizing health and educational programs.
What we are doing today and onwards, and we have been doing so far up for the last 13 years, is based on the book of Matthew, in which when I'm hungry, you feed me. When I'm thirsty, you give me water to drink. When I am naked, you clothed me. When I am in prison or at the hospital, you visited me. So based on that, John's Foundation Incorporated has been founded on those pillars.
President of 2WRFM, Pastor Peter Yambe, says since acquiring the radio station, the message of the Lord has been reaching communities in rural areas of provinces including Western Morobe, Western Islands, and East New Britain. He says radio programs raise awareness about important health issues, legal rights, and available social services, enlightening the community about ways to seek help or engage with local programs.
What we are doing here now is, like for my, seeing things as a pastor, this is the way to go. Okay? Christianity is about two things. One, first is about worshiping God, and the second part of it is touching lives. That's what Jesus actually did when he was here. He just did not preach in the church, but he went around touching lives of people. And so John's Foundation is trying to do that, touching lives of people. That's why touching lives is our motto, or theme for the John's Foundation.
Gloria Pundari, trustee of John Foundation, thanked sponsors for supporting the foundation to reach the unreachable and serve them with messages of hope and restoration. She says providing gifts or financial assistance to those in need helps address immediate needs and can foster longer-term improvements in the quality of life for impoverished individuals or families.
All of this wouldn't be possible without the sponsors who are behind this event today. So thank you to all our sponsors, which include CPL and Tuna Kenners and a number of different ones as well.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed lower at $0.2494 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2419 US, $0.3916 Australian dollars, $0.2290 euro, and 37.89 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, all closed higher except cocoa closed lower and copper closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. You're watching TV1 News. We'll have news from overseas when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
In its first 10 years, the PNG LNG project has had a long-lasting impact, contributing more than 28 billion kina to the state of Papua New Guinea. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levy and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Hey, do you know that Cell Money gives you twice the Digicel credits you recharge when you top up your phone with Cell Money?
Yes, I have a good news. So now I put 3 kina in my phone. I receive 6 kina credit.
Well, that's why now I like to top up 5 kina because I receive 10 kina. And then I use my credits to call, send text, or get data.
Let's go to a digital store or Cell Money agent today. Deposit money in your Cell Money wallet to top up and receive the double credit.
Dial *888# to do it all with Cell Money.
Cell Money, do it all with Cell Money.
I'm going to Ghana to meet Matilda for the first time. Things might be a little too heavy for her.
I'm gonna meet my boyfriend, but I'm freaking out because I have my ex with me.
90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. Wednesdays 8:30 on TLC.
Take the ball and run with it. Gets the shot in. Make it 2 for him and 3 for Newcastle. Into the 4th round of the Emirates FA Cup they go.
This is hostile, y'all.
Charlie's Angels Full Throttle premieres Sunday 9 p.m. on Warner TV.
Thanks for staying with us. Facebook's plan to remove fact checkers and switch to a crowdsourcing approach to fight misinformation is causing concern for social media experts in the region. For many people, including those in the Pacific region, social media is a common way for people to stay in touch and keep abreast of current affairs. So it's no surprise that a move by Facebook's parent company, Meta, to get rid of independent fact-checkers has raised concern across the globe. Under the changes, Facebook will follow the footsteps of Twitter, or X as it's now known, and rely wholly on its community of users to counter misinformation. Joppe Tarai, a social media expert and researcher at the Australian National University, said it's obvious that Facebook is pivoting towards what Twitter X is going, and that particular authorities have had to reach out to Facebook and liaise about how to mediate or moderate discussions at the height of political difficulties. A warning. This next story includes a vision of Nazi symbols. Counter-terrorism police are investigating all anti-Semitic incidents in New South Wales, Australia, following a weekend graffiti attack and an arson attempt at a synagogue in Sydney's inner west.
Just behind me here, this synagogue here was actually the site on early hours of Saturday morning of both graffiti, where we saw several swastikas spray painted on its front gates, as well as a clear liquid, according to the Police Commissioner Karen Webb, which was dispersed around the area and set alight. Now, exactly what accelerant it was isn't as clear, but we know that this fire started and then a short time after, about 3 minutes later, it went out. It extinguished itself without anyone needing to put it out. Now, police were able to attend the scene thereafter and have commenced their investigations. We know they've escalated now because of the involvement of counter-terrorism police, not just as part of the investigation, but actually leading the investigation. Elsewhere, separately, 24 hours prior to that, in southern Sydney, in Allawa, at the Southern Sydney Synagogue, there was another incident where we saw about a dozen swastikas spray painted right across the vicinity and the walls of the synagogue, as well as the invocation of Hitler and some really heinous and anti-Semitic things said about Jews as a group of people. Now, that was removed and CCTV was also collected from that scene. It's now been determined that a duo at Allawa in southern Sydney on Friday morning, as well as a duo separate to them in Newtown on Saturday morning, are now persons of interest that the police want to speak to. So 4 people in total that police wish to speak to in relation to these incidents. Separate to both of those, though, we've seen another incident in Hamilton in the suburbs in Newcastle where a 47-year-old man was charged with 2 offences after allegedly spray painting a pharmacy with a Nazi symbol. He is facing the Newcastle local court today on those matters. He was refused bail yesterday after the incident as well and will be fronting court today.
And Miles, broadly, how is the community feeling about these?
There's a real state of alarm, Mel, and that's both from Jewish bodies representing people as well as politicians. We've heard the Premier Chris Minns describe these incidents as hate crimes, as well as the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Michelle Goldman from the Jewish Board of Deputies spoke to the ABC earlier this morning and spoke about the need for there to be strong deterrence through legal enforcement and through these investigations to ensure that people are brought to account for these anti-Semitic attacks.
Unfortunately, too few people who have been involved in these hateful acts have been caught and punished, and that is the #1 priority here, to make sure that they can be prosecuted more easily.
So that's Michelle Goldman there from the Jewish Board of Deputies, who have received a grant from the Government of New South Wales for about $340,000. That is all part to protect sites that could be at risk, including synagogues as well as Jewish schools and other places that Jewish leadership believe could be targeted in these kind of anti-Semitic incidents. We've also seen earlier incidents late last year, Mel, in the eastern suburbs of Sydney, which tend to have higher populations of Jewish people as well and Jewish worshippers. As a result, the government really on alert. Already we do see the establishment of the New South Wales Police Unit Operation Shelter. They are actually already stationed at these sites and working around the clock essentially to ensure sites like this synagogue here don't get targeted. Indeed, in southern Sydney at Alloway, at that synagogue there, police were patrolling that synagogue before it got targeted. So there is already a vigilant campaign, though there is more action now with this money flowing. It's clearly something that's caught the ire of not only the Premier but also federal politician and Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who described these acts as divisive and doing nothing to create unity and harmony in what has otherwise been a peaceful society in Australia.
Fiji's Meteorological Service has named Cyclone Peter as the first tropical cyclone of the season. The Category 1 storm passed over Niue and Cook Islands at the weekend before being downgraded to a depression. It is the latest of disruptive weather to hit the southwestern Pacific over the last month, with heavy rains causing flooding in Fiji and Samoa. In Fiji, the flooding has been damaging and prompted evacuations, although no fatalities have been reported. Fiji Disaster Management Minister Sakiasi Ditoka said there's been some damage to infrastructure, including the Vuniasi Bridge in Nadi, which collapsed. Fortunately, no lives have been lost. Conservationists are calling for Western Australia's Penguin Island to be closed to tourists to protect its dwindling population. As debate continues over the best way to safeguard the title, Penguin's tourism operations say they're still in the dark about a government promise for a new discovery centre in Rockingham.
It's a marine hub filled with creatures big and small. But Penguin Island off Rockingham has been the centre of heated debate between tourism operators, the state government and conservationists for years. The little penguin population here has dwindled to just 114, a 94% decline since 2007. Tourism operators believe a new discovery centre with a viewing on the mainland would balance conservation and tourist demand.
Because otherwise people will take animals and they will start touching animals and they won't do it in the right respected way.
Back in 2022, a McGowan Labor government committed over $3 million to building a discovery centre here on the island. But after community backlash over environmental concerns, that plan was scrapped and it was decided to build one on the mainland instead. It's been 3 years and that centre is still in the planning phase. In a statement, the government says the development of a business case will inform future government direction for the project.
We need to make sure that we don't have open slather, but you know,
we've had sustainable tourism on Penguin Island for decades and decades.
But activists say more needs to be done now, calling for the island to be closed for a couple of years to allow the population to recover.
They speak a lot, education, etc. Well, gee, yeah, that's all very well and, good to hear. But the elephant in the room is those creatures are being hounded.
A new independent advisory body will meet for the first time in January to consider WA's penguin conservation plan.
A record number of lorikeets and flying foxes have been hospitalised with a mystery illness in southeast Queensland. Experts believe it could be caused by a toxin in the animal's food source, but they haven't yet figured out what it is yet.
Wrapped in a soft blanket with a dummy for comfort, 5-week-old orphans Flower, Rex and Raja are receiving round-the-clock care after losing their mothers to a mystery illness.
We don't know what's causing it. What we seem to see is that it's not a virus because they can't seem to pass it on.
Thousands of lorikeets and adult flying foxes across southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales are getting sick or dying from a paralysis syndrome. The disease is seasonal, with the highest number of cases occurring between December and February.
The disease is very terrible. The affected animals do suffer. They're unable to drink or eat, and they're on the ground, so they're exposed to trauma or predation by other species.
Researchers are trying to determine whether it's caused by a toxin found in the animal's food source, but there's still a lot they don't know.
Certainly the clinical signs that we see are very consistent with botulism in other species, but the way that these birds and flying foxes are being exposed is very novel, and we're really trying to work out what's going on there.
RSPCA Queensland admitted nearly 8,000 lorikeets and 1,000 flying foxes to hospital in 2024. Many were also cared for by wildlife volunteers.
Right now we're experiencing a lot of burnout with our carers as well. It's been so hard.
Experts believe changing weather patterns such as high heat and humidity is making the situation worse, and fear high death rates year on year could eventually start impacting other wildlife.
So if we continue to lose really large numbers of these individuals, then we're losing the important pollination and seed dispersal services that they provide.
Animals with milder cases have a good chance of recovery. Anyone who finds a sick flying fox shouldn't touch them, but along with injured lorikeets is urged to contact the RSPCA or nearest wildlife carer.
Loneliness can negatively impact a person's mental and physical well-being. In Melbourne's outer suburbs, volunteers are taking the lead to keep their communities feeling connected.
On the face of it, it's an unassuming coffee catch-up in Melbourne's outer north. But this open invite women's social group is the creation of one dedicated volunteer.
It's just amazing. It's just so, I don't even want to get paid for doing it. It's just so nice.
Gay came across many lonely people in her former life working in aged care.
You go there and visit once a week usually, and they just can't get over it. When you go there, they're just so excited. Some start crying because they haven't seen anyone for a week. It's just so, it makes you cry. It's so sad.
She started her weekly coffee club in an attempt to help women like her stay connected.
I was lonely, I'd lost my husband, and I just needed someone to go out with.
It's a blessing, and they are so friendly. We have laughs, we have jokes.
Gay's not the only one concerned about growing social isolation. Craigie Byrne's Deputy Mayor says it often came up on the hustings during the recent local election.
I door knocked something like 6,000 homes, and it was really surprising how many people were coming to us, inviting us into our homes for a coffee, telling us stories about how they lost a partner, how their children weren't seeing them.
At this community centre in Mickleham, another volunteer is doing her best to keep migrants connected. She knows how hard it can be. When Gurdeep first came to Australia, she experienced it too.
I was not sure how to make friends here.
Let others to feel respected.
She hopes the monthly meetings are creating a network where attendees can ask for help. and ending the meeting on a high note to help foster the culture of connection.
That ends the news segment. Over to you, Rex.
Thanks, Maricela. When we come back after the breaks, Pacific All Sports Netball Series set and Basketball Federation unveiled names.
In its first 10 years, the PNG LNG project has had a long-lasting impact, contributing more than 28 billion kina to the state of Papua New Guinea. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levy and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
24-hour service. Always there when we need them the most. They risk their lives to save mine. They are ordinary people doing extraordinary things. They are our everyday heroes. St. John Ambulance, trusted to care.
Welcome everyone, my name is Bhumi.
I won't let you give up on your dreams. You've worked so hard for them. You can easily find a job here in Ujjain.
A job? I think that you have made a mistake.
I think we should ask the children first.
In my family, we don't allow the children to overrule. They respect the decisions made by all of the elders.
Tucked into our Asian takeout special.
What's up?
We got one chow yun fan with our young warbird. Free police! And then...
Good morning, Charlie.
Four type rosy roll sandwich.
Yummy.
Kung Fu style.
Perfect.
And then Jet Li wrap with DMXO sauce.
Why? Some type of Kung Fu James Bond?
Wow! It's so full of flavor. Asian takeout. Sundays at 9 on Warner TV.
I've heard tales about him all my life. Most just called him the Crooked Man.
I thought Big Red wasn't scared of anything.
Well, I know something you're afraid of.
You hear something?
Your road ends in the dark like mine.
Hellboy, The Crooked Man, premieres Saturday, January 18th, 9 p.m. on HBO.
Welcome. In sports, the PNG Football Association will stage the 2024 National Youth Soccer League Under-17 Conference qualifying series this week for the Southern and Northern Conferences, after they have completed their regular competitions. All Northern Conference matches will be played starting Wednesday, 15th January, at the Lay Football Grounds, Eriku. The Southern Conference will be staged Thursday, January 16th at PNG Football Stadium in Port Moresby. Meantime, the Highlands and NJ Eastern Conference are currently in progress with regular round matches and will head to the qualifying game once complete. The Pacific All Sports Netball Series is set to stage its fifth edition of the series in February 2025. The event is scheduled to be held at Brisbane's Nissan Arena from the 17th to 22nd of February, with continued backing from the Australian government through the Pacific All Sports program.
The Pacific Netball Series offers participating teams a competitive environment and exposure for players, especially the young talents fitting into the international arena and representative duties. The tournament will showcase respective Pacific teams who will field their best sides. The teams include the Fiji Pearls, Papua New Guinea Peppers, Samoa Tifa Moana, and the ring-in champions Tonga Tala, who have secured the title 4 consecutive times. This year, the Australian First Nations Black Swans will return as domestic invitees, having made their debut at the 2024 series. Additionally, the Scottish Thistles are set to make their inaugural appearance in the competition, adding an international flair to the series. This upcoming series not only promises thrilling matches, but also grows collaboration within the global netball community. Maricela Kelleton, TVWAN Sports.
Since joining the Pacific All Sports program in 2021 and gaining more international opportunities, the PNG Peppers have jumped 13 ranks in the 2 years, from 42nd in 2022 to now sitting at 29th ranking. Head coach of PNG Peppers, Lua Rikis, says the exposure in the last 2 years has lifted the team's performance and rise to a new level, and is grateful to Netball PNG and Australia for the high-performance programs. PNG's main aim in the series is to maintain consistency and be competitive. The Peppers will go in as a team come February to achieve results. PNG Basketball Federation has unveiled names for its national players in 3x3 and 5x5 teams for the 2025 national representative duties. When announcing the squad today at the Taurama Aquatic Centre, the Federation has also revealed its calendar of events for 2025. Some major international events are lining up for basketball in 2025, and the PNG Basketball Federation wasted no time in naming its players in preparation for its events. In a press conference today at the Taurama Aquatic Centre, Port Moresby, President of PNG Basketball Federation David Peter announced that the PNG representative teams both 3x3 and 5x5 sides. In the Under-23 Division 3x3 team, Peter announced 13 men and 13 women players. He further named 12 players in open men and open women's divisions. Each division will have only 4 players in the final team. In the 5x5 division, 26 men and 31 women have been named, but this is subject to change after selection trials. When commenting on the selection process, Peter said they have done rigorous screening from the list of names that came from all the regions in the country and picked the best teams that met the selection criteria. The best of the best will make the final cut.
We have actually gone out into the most parts of the country, and the list that we have is coming from different regions of the country, which I'm very pleased. And the process has been really rigorous in a way that we try to follow the selection criteria and the process, and still there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But we have given our very best to ensure that the selection is fair and transparent and equitable. So in that way, we do the selection, giving everyone a chance to showcase themselves. And whoever gets to the the last final, that's good luck on them. But in the meantime, we basically go into the process of filtering to get the very best for the country.
The Under-23 Division 3x3 team is eyeing a mini Pacific Games in Palau in July, while 3x3 Open Division will be showing up in Asia Cup in Singapore this March. The 5x5 team will be finalizing the team and prepare for Melanesian Cup in October. President of PNG Basketball Federation David Peter highlighted the importance of bringing the national championship to other centres in the country. He said this after announcing those selected to the national team in the All-Stars tournament in Goroka last year. The All-Stars National Basketball Championship was held in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province towards the end of 2024, was one of the biggest events on the calendar for PNG Basketball Federation. The championship brought players all over the country to the Eastern Highlands provincial capital, where they showcased their skills and talent. The championship was to select players for the national 5x5 team. Due to work commitments and cost of travel, most of the incumbent representative players did not travel to Goroka. PNG Basketball Federation has now decided to get the select side from Goroka event to match up with incumbents in the trial match so that the best team is picked. The trials commence towards the end of this month or in February. Commenting on this arrangement, the PNG Basketball Federation's president said, "This is to give fair opportunity to the incumbent players to defend their sport in the national team, which also allows the federation to pick the best players to represent the country."
Because we went up to the islands and in Goroka and we ran the national championships, and a lot of players couldn't actually make it up to Goroka because of the cost that's involved in traveling from their centers to Goroka. So those that we selected from Goroka are basically in the East team, and those that didn't travel up to Goroka for the All-Stars will make up the West. So we plan to run trials in Port Moresby again, and we will trim the list. We will get the mixture of the best players from both the East and the West, and then make a short list. And we will work with those teams and further refine the team going into October 2025.
Peter further said the selected players travelling into Port Moresby for the selection trial will take care of their own airfares and accommodation. Selected players from the trial will represent PNG in the FIBA Oceania Melanesian Cup in October and other international events. Nick Daroa has been appointed the 5x5 national team coach and will take care of the team throughout the year 2025. President of basketball in PNG is committed to hosting national events in all the regions in the country in the hope of growing basketball in PNG. In an announcement that has sent shockwaves through the rugby world, Fiji powerhouse Joshua Tuisova has revealed he is stepping away from the sport indefinitely. The dynamic winger, known for his devastating runs and hard-hitting style, has hinted at the possibility of retirement, leaving fans and pundits alike speculating about the future of one of the Fiji's most exciting players. Tuisova's decision comes amid a string of personal and professional challenges, raising questions about his future, both with the Fijian national team and his club, the Fijian Drua. With the 2025 season just around the corner, the announcement has thrown a major wrench into Fiji's plans for the upcoming matches, including the highly anticipated clash against Brumbies in February. 12 Australian players will be in action on day 2 of the Australian Open today, including returning star Nick Kyrgios. The 29-year-old Kyrgios will make his first appearance at the Australian Open since 2022, facing world number 86 Jacob Fianley from the UK. Former tennis player John Millman told the ABC's Catherine Murphy that Kyrgios is going into the match up confident despite a lack of recent playtime.
He hasn't played tennis for the better half of 2 years in terms of competitive matches, so it was really important he come here a bit early and get those competitive practice sets in. Now, he wasn't able to do that, but we know to expect the unexpected with Nick. He's got that big serve, and I didn't see much of a drop-off in Brisbane in terms of serve speeds there. If he can roll early and get the crowd behind him, we know he ignites the crowd, especially here at John Cain Arena over our shoulders. he can really cause a few upsets. He's in the right part of the draw, but we can't write off the English hope, Jacob Vanley.
Honestly, I feel a bit sorry for him. I've been to a Nick Kyrgios match at John Cain Arena. It got so wild. It was against Karen Khachanov. Karen Khachanov ends up smashing all his rackets. Kids at home, don't smash your rackets. Never do that. It was so wild. How will the Brit cope with that?
Look, you've got to control the controllables with him. If I was him and I was in his position, I'd be really trying to temper, you know, the emotions. I'd be trying to be a bit of a blank wall, not give Nick too much to feed off. And you've got to accept the fact that the crowd's going to be against you.
Absolutely. I cannot wait for that one. Let's talk about Alex de Minaur. He doesn't play until tomorrow, which is great that he has that extra day to prepare. And he had a big off-season. He's been busy. He's got engaged. How is Alex going?
I think he's in a really good spot in his life. He's really confident in his abilities right now. Comes into the tournament as the seed 8, which is the highest he's been. So that means he doesn't face one of those big boys until the quarterfinals, who would be Yannick Sinner if he gets to that stage. He has got a tricky first-round match. He's up against Botiks van der Zandschulp, and this is the guy that led the Dutch team to a Davis Cup final last year and also beat Carlos Alcaraz at the US Open in the second round in straight sets. So on his day, Botic can play some really good tennis. He's a baseliner, so he looks to be quite aggressive from about hip height from the baseline. But Alex, he's an animal here in Australia. He loves the home crowd support. I think he's really embracing coming in as the Australian clear #1, leader of the Davis Cup team. My money's on Alex.
And that wraps up the sports segment. Merisila.
Thanks, Rex. We'll now have the weather forecast. Southern Port Moresby, evening showers and thunderstorms to cloudy. Popondetta, few showers and possible thunderstorms to partly cloudy. Momase, Ley, evening showers and possible thunderstorms then cloudy. Wewak and Vanimo, mostly fine. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul, mostly fine. Highlands, Old Santos, evening showers and possible thunderstorms to cloudy. Coral Seas, seas light with northwest winds of 10 to 15 knots. Solomon Sea, seas light to moderate with northwest to northerly winds of 10 to 20 knots. Bismarck Seas, seas smooth to slight with northeast winds of 5 to 15 knots. Pacific Ocean, seas light to moderate with northeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Waters of Samaria Island to Cape Bogle and all Millie Bay Islands, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Cape Vogel to Huon Gulf to Finchafen, and waters of Madang to Wewak, Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. And waters of New Ireland to East New Britain to Bougainville, seas 0.5 to 1 meter. That ends another edition of TV1 News. Have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.